I think every time the world gets a little crazy, you'll get more last days teaching. I remember as a kid in the 70s, world was in real upheaval. Same thing. We heard a lot about the second coming of the Lord. Well, these days, it's crazier than it has ever been in my lifetime. Power of government, the mind control, the mind feed that's going on, because we didn't have, cell phones in those days. So I'm thinking a lot more about last days things. When I was a kid, the big push was the theory of the rapture and the idea that if you would really serve the Lord now, that you would not have to face the tribulation and the testing that's coming upon the earth. And I honestly think we were more scared of the beast than we seem to be of the Lord. Because, it's like God will always cut me a break and forgive me. But the beast, he's going to torture me. He's going to kill me. We were so scared to face persecution. Well, my wife and I have spent the last 40 years in the 1040 Window Nations, and that's where 95% of the martyrs of the world come from, because it's where the three great religions are all grounded, and you pay for your faith. And so as we get closer to these days that are prophesied in the Bible, the rest of the world is going to learn. And I never thought there was going to be a persecution of Christian believers in America. I couldn't even think as a young person, I couldn't think, how could this ever happen in the States, that the whole culture would turn against Christians? I mean, it was everybody went to church in those days. So how could it be that the government would come down on us? How could it be that our own police, that our own, Justice Department would come down on Christians? Well, I'm seeing it. We're all seeing it today. Revelation 13 talks about a world leader, the beast, who rises out of the sea. And the sea in the Bible is a symbol of chaos. It's also a symbol of the sea of humanity. And so this beast, probably a human, rises up out of the sea, and he's got, these characteristics. You can read it for yourself, but I just want to go on verse 4. And so they worshiped the dragon, that's the devil, who gave authority to the beast. And they worshiped the beast, saying, "Who is like the beast? Who can make war with him?" And he was given a mouth, speaking great things and blasphemies. And he was given authority to continue for 42 months. And then he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name, his tabernacle, and those who dwell in heaven, the angels who did not join in the rebellion. And it was granted to him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. And authority was given him over every tribe and tongue and nation, and all who dwell on the earth will worship him, whose names have not been written in the book of life of the Lamb who was slain from the foundation of the world. If anyone has an ear, let him hear. He who leads into captivity shall go into captivity. He who kills with the sword must be killed with the sword. And here is the patience and the faith of the saints. What I see, especially this last verse, verse 9 and 10, is a message from God's Spirit to say we have to pass through our testing. We have to be stripped of our carnality, of our love for this world, of our love for anything except a love for the Lord. And our loyalty to God has to be proven. We're going to have to go through these hard times. Our brothers all over the world have been going through these times for generations. When I first moved to Asia, we were losing 250,000 believers every year were being martyred in the 1040 Window Nations. This is not a new thing. So to have to face the test of your loyalty is not a new thing. It's not just a last days thing. It has always been like this. But the second part, anyone who leads, I think this is saying, when it says, he who leads into captivity shall go into captivity. If you kill with the sword, you must be killed with the sword. And here is the patience and faith of the saints. I think that's saying what they do to us is going to be done to them. There will be justice. You can cry out, you can beg for mercy. They're not going to give it. And don't expect angels from heaven to come and stop them from doing harm to our bodies. This has happened since the first generation of Christians. And, I take a lot of heart from the courage of believers. The ones that I have seen persecuted the most in the last 20 years are in India, because there's been like a revival of radical Hinduism, and they have burned so many churches and believers to death. But I remember the words of a 19-year-old girl, and she had already lost her father and mother and brother in a fire of persecution, and she was not there when it happened. And when her response to that was not to be afraid of the fire, but she said this, "Oh Lord, that I might also be a torch lighting up the world for you." That she was not drawing back from that same fate. And it's going to take that kind of resolve in the believer, that I can face death one time and I will never have to face it again. I can face persecution. I can face the loss of my things. They can seize our bank accounts. They can do so many things. And already believers are having these things done to them in the West. So don't think this can't come on us. It is going to happen to us. And we've got to use these years to strengthen ourselves. If all you do is sit and watch Netflix for 5 hours every night, don't think when it comes down to the test of your faith, you're going to be able to pass that test. You're going to collapse because you're going to be so weak inside. If your church is just about smoke and rock and roll and, big show, that's not going to make it. The day they come against a group like that, it's going to collapse. We've got to dig deeper. These are our years to prepare ourselves to face the hardship that is coming on the world. And we've been given ample warning from the Scriptures of the need to remain vigilant and strong and to purify ourselves right now while we've got the time to get our mind set and focused and go ahead and live a last days lifestyle. Stand up for Jesus. Be loyal to Him. Be faithful to God. Be willing to suffer. Open your mouth and speak your faith out in these days while there's still a chance for you to be influential to other people. Let your voice be heard. Not like angry political talk, and not just echoing everything that you read online, like, oh yeah, amen. You speak. You speak from your own heart. When you have conversations at work or with your friends or your family, and you have a chance to say what the Lord has done in your life, and not just what we're against, but what Christ has done for you, say it. Say it boldly, say it with passion, because they need to hear these words. Don't forget what was said. Everyone, verse 8, all who dwell on the earth will worship the beast whose names have not been written in the book of life. This is their chance to make their peace with God. And we need to do all that we can in these last days to be people of mission, people who purify ourselves, but people of outreach. That we open our homes to our neighbors, that we invite somebody in our house for a meal once a week, and just try to have the chance to have conversations with our neighbors and our friends. Don't waste these days. They're important days in all of our lives. Strengthen yourselves, strengthen your brothers and sisters, so that we can be the mighty and powerful people of God in these last days. You can make it.